Today we are going to look at probably the biggest trade that occurred this offseason. We're going to look at Damian Lillard. We're going to see how he fits with Giannis over at the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to look at 4 instances. We're going to look at, first off, I'd say net neutral offense. We're going to say good offense. We're going to say some questions I have. And finally, we're going to look at the defense. My precursor bias to this is my gut said that this was not a good move for the Bucks, but we're going to look at whether I think that is valid or not valid. Let's go. First examples that we're looking at shots that the Bucks took in this preseason game against the Grizzlies that they could have gotten anytime. These shots are not super noteworthy, and in fact, I would say they're cause for concern because you don't want them to be getting the same shots they would have gotten otherwise, because you want Dame to be something that inspires better shots, essentially. Here are some great examples of good shots. You can see Dame drives, finds Lopez cutting to the rim. Those are good looks that be had. This ball gets kicked back around. Dame is a good shoot. You want him shooting that, and that's semi-controversial, I suppose, but you want him shooting that. And the biggest one is this last one, most importantly right here. When he drives, what is in the paint? Freaking nobody. So he's able to drive, get an easy layup. You want to see that. That is a great sign. Then the first question I have, as I had going into it, is will they be able to keep the same transition? The Bucks, the biggest asset in my eyes is Giannis in transition, getting downhill just because he's so freaking athletic and long. And so if they're able to continue that, as you can see is a great example right here, then that bodes very well for the season, regardless of whatever happens. And the second question is, we can see on this play that the Grizzlies are essentially face guarding Damian Lillard. Will teams in the NBA do this when crunch time? I don't know, because that's taking a whole nother player out, like a good defender, out of the whole equation. Letting the Bucks play 4-on-4 is dangerous. The final question I have in this example is, we can see the the Grizzlies are playing pretty tight to Giannis, relatively tight to Giannis, and I don't think that'll happen when games are on the line. I think Dame will see a lot more traffic. And then finally, for the biggest question I have, which is on defense, is Damian Lillard going to be a liability or an asset, or hopefully a net neutral? You can see the Grizzlies went after him a couple times, and the Bucks had to try and adjust slightly, but it wasn't a huge amount of the time. That being said, this is easily my biggest concern, is whether Lillard will be giving up essentially easy shots or a huge liability on defense and provide some benefit on offense, but it's got to balance out, because you traded away some good defenders like Grayson Allen, just kidding, like Drew Holiday, and so you just got to make sure that you still have that defense, make sure offenses aren't outscoring your now better offensive production. So in conclusion, I'd say that it seems that Dame is, I would say, a decent fit, and I am curious to see how those things get handled, whether he sees traffic when he drives. If he can manage to space out the floor even more for Giannis, then I think that's a massive benefit. And then we'll wait and see what happens on defense. But I am curious, and I do think it's better than I originally thought the trade was going to be. I just thought Drew Holiday is tough to replace. If you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.